Okay, so my issue was earlier, like it is now, is it sticking to this table. I almost want to be a baker and put flour on it to stop it sticking. Ah, right. Okay.
Welcome to our MaiBell Makes channel, where each week we aim to bring you something artistic and creative. We'll explore processes we've never done before, delve into the outdoor projects, and get our hands dirty in the wildlife garden. Come join us at 6 p.m. on Sundays to find out what we've been up to, and we look forward to sharing our adventures with you.
Right, slight change of plan. I have got myself some oven bake clay. Now this is to be fired. This is firing clay. I don't know a lot about clay. I just wanted something that I could test out some pieces while I'm not able to do lots of manual lifting since my procedure. I wanted something that I could just do some little test pieces on. Obviously I will fire these at some point, but to be fair, these are more about just practicing before I manage to make my own clay. This is quite exciting because I've been wanting to get my hands on clay for such a long time. So this is going to cheer me up a little bit as well, and it'll be a little test of how our tile imprints as we've done the first stage, which was literally just etching out the outlines on the lino tile. So I thought if we could just see what kind of impression we get using what we've done so far, what kind of relief work we get, and then it gives me an idea of, you know, how much deeper I need to go with certain areas, or if that's enough. I would like it to be a little bit more three-dimensional. I think this is going to be still quite flat, but I thought we'd have a little test with some shop bought clay. Again, I just bought this off Amazon. I wouldn't say clay is cheap. It's, you know, it's thinking how much I paid for this now. I think this 5 kg block was probably about 10 or 20 pounds. I can't quite remember now, but I mean, I don't think it's that bad price for, it's quite a big bit of clay now that I've got it here. 5 kg. I mean, it is very heavy. I'm not really, I can lift it off the table with my hands, because I can't really lift anything heavy properly at the moment. So getting it onto here was a struggle with the help of family, but I'm just going to chop some sections out of it, hopefully, and try and roll it out a little bit into the set sort of size of my tile, and we'll see how we go. Right, I'm just gonna literally carve my way through an end. It's not resealable, this packaging that it comes in, so I'll have to bag it up afterwards. I just wanted to break the plastic seal more than anything, so I'm using one of these little tools that I got in my pack, in my little clay sculpting set, which will stick an image on there of a reminder of where we got that and what that looked like. And then it came with this clay wire. Oh, that's nice. I make it look so easy when you see people do this. Actually, it was fairly easy. There we go. So we've got our block. My big block's a little bit lighter. We're just going to push that over there to the side. Right, so we're going to take all this plastic off. One side. I've just got this here. It is just what I've done some resin bits on and past it. It's not the flattest of surfaces. And then I thought what I'll do is don't actually know if I've got a rolling pin. I might have to go and get a rolling pin, because I'm not sure how well I'm going to be able to do this in my current conditions. It's going to be interesting to see what I can do with my hands. It's quite nice, and it's got a nice form to it. But obviously, this isn't going to do to obviously practice my tiling on. Wow, I underestimated how sticky clay is. How exciting. I think I'm going to have to go and get a rolling pin. I haven't got one down here in MaiBell ready to use. So my first bit of clay, it's nice to actually get to feel it and see what it needs to feel like when I do make my own clay, and what sort of thickness I want to do my tiles, because I'll need to keep some sort of consistency. But what I do have are my sticks. So my sticks, my mud sticks, I'll also will stick a link up there. They came in different thicknesses, so I need to work out what thickness I'm going to do my clay in. I don't know whether they come in pairs. Oh yeah, they do. No, I mean they're all different kind of thicknesses, so I'm hoping these are the pairs to my thickness of sticks. That would be awkward. It appears that we are. So it's just working out what kind of depth of tile that I want. Now I think something like this would be too thin. That's quite thin. Maybe even that's too thin. What I've got to think about is, obviously I don't want them to be heavy, but at the same time I'm thinking this one, because my relief on my design isn't going to be overly deep, because my thickness of my tile, my lino tile is only yay thick, so it's probably very much similar to that thickness at the moment. Which means I don't know whether that means I can do a tile that's that thin, or whether I should go something a little bit more weighty to allow for a nice solid back on those tiles. Right, well, I think we'll go for this thickness, but I do need to go and get a rolling pin. Right, well, I've got my rolling pin. I've just cleared the deck a little bit. I've got these mud sticks on here to give me the height of which I want to roll my clay to. Now my rolling pin is a pastry rolling pin. I will at some point invest in a new one. But for now, needs must, and I want to crack on. So this is going to cause some rocking and rolling. The camera is just going to love this, so you're going to get a real feel for the for me rolling out this clay. Now, I know I'm probably supposed to be knocking the air out of this a bit. It's a process, part of the process that I can't really do at the moment. So there probably are going to be air bubbles in this. These are just test pieces. We're going to see how we get on over the next sort of week or so, and I'll hopefully be able to do some more, a bit more of the process of building clay properly when I'm just going to cut some of this off when I'm obviously able to lift and use my stomach muscles a bit more. I'm just going to peel some of that off. No, I don't want this to all dry out too much either, so I might need to get a little bit of water, because that's the other thing I don't currently have, is any water. I'm obviously thinking of these things as we're going. There we go. So now I have a consistent thickness, I hope, roughly. I say consistent rough, of the depth of the tile that I want to create. So these depths are, let me tell you, these sticks are 5, 6, 7 millimeters, 7 mil. So yeah, I think that's a nice size tile. Obviously it will shrink a little bit when it is baked one day, but for now we're going to basically just leave them to dry out. I'm going to stick my tile on. Obviously this is the relief tile that I've etched out of the lino, and just because this is the bit where I just want to find out if I'm actually getting any impression from this, and if so, what kind of impression. So again, I'm going to roll her over the top, push that lino rectangle straight into the clay. This is all good rehab for me, really, as well. So right, then I'm gonna, I don't even know if I'm using the right tool for this. I've got several knives. In fact, I should probably use this one. It's probably not so serrated, it's more of just a straight cut. So let's just go along the edges of my tile. Now this might not work, so I'll try and cut it out. This might not work because I've not done it before. We will see very shortly. I'm just going to scrape all that back a little bit. This is quite a nice wooden little tool that came with the kit. It might just give me, I mean, I don't even know if this is going to lift off, because just had a problem obviously lifting those other bits off, but this is all about what impression do I get. So let's just peel that off gently. Well, we've definitely got an impression. I'm hoping this can be seen on the camera. Whether or not that is a good enough impression, no, I think it needs to be deeper. I think we need more clay in there, raised. I mean, it's nice, and it might look nice when it's got some glazes on it. Highlight some of the details with a brush, but for me, it's a no. Okay, so what we've learned so far is that these are not deep enough to give me a crisp imprint. So we need to go deeper, maybe a little bit wider with some of these markings. which makes it a bit more of a process. So I've got to go back over everything, make things a little bit deeper. Now obviously the other option I have got is that I go over with the next one up, but the next one up is quite a bit of a jump, I think, in size. It's quite a lot bigger, so I suppose we could try it. At the end of the day, this is all about experimenting. Should we get that in the right way round. Tighten it back up. Oh, right. Okay. Just need to make sure I kind of stick to those lines that I've done. A bit like, not like that. Just don't rush the process, I suppose. Seem to be a bit stuck in places. Feels like it's not quite cutting through both sides there now. Got a bit wide on myself, I think. So it's fine, we'll just get back on track. I think it's about making sure I hold this as flat against the surface as I can as well. I think that helps. I think the numbers are going to be the tricky part. I don't think I'll get them to how I want them to look. I might just try going over the numbers again with the smaller one, just to get a little bit more depth in them. Well, we're back with the clay. I'm just literally just moulding that a bit flatter just to save me a bit of rolling process. We have just etched out the lino tile a little bit deeper because obviously our first test didn't work out as good as I would liked it to have. Obviously you can see now how sketchy it really is now. It's all going to be down to imprinting, and then I think outlining with the with some glazes maybe at a later date. I just want to try and get a more defined image. I mean, I haven't gone that deep. You can't really tell because I haven't really gone right to the edges on a lot of it, but I don't know whether I should go deeper still. But the problem is those tools tend to go, the deeper I tend to go, the wider they get. I think it comes down to a skill that I have not yet got, or might not have ever have. But we're going to roll out the clay again, see what this next impression comes out like, and then we'll assess it from there. So I'm just going to flatten this back out again. it's still nice and pliable, which is good. I mean, I really am going to have to sort out a new bit of wood or something to work off on there. It's going to give that a couple of rolls, trim off excess. Oh, and I've got something else in it already. Whatever that is not supposed to be in there. A bit of dried clay from earlier. I think it's just come off my my rolling pin. That'd be another tip that I need to try and get used to, is maybe cleaning some of these old clay off of tools once I've used them, because I found that the clay does dry rather quick. So my issue was earlier, like it is now, is it sticking to this table. I almost want to be a baker and put flour on it to stop it sticking. Right. Okay. I don't know whether I can get a board to make my life a little bit easier. Right, well, what I've done is I've got a piece of board and I've got the clay. We're going to give this a go and see if this little bit of plywood will help us in stopping it sticking quite so much. So we've got our relief that we've etched out a little bit deeper. For my first experiment, I realised I wanted it a little bit more defined, so we've etched out a little bit deeper. I mean, it's still not overly deep. It's a lot deeper than it was. So we're going to see what kind of impression we get from this. We're going to roll out the clay again, and yeah, so I'm just going to squish this out in my hands a little bit just to lessen my rolling. Roll it that way. Got my sticks, got my rolling pin. Just going to give that a see if this bit of board works. My idea was I was going to try and not press in so hard, because obviously the clay compresses, it's got nowhere to go, so it just starts spraying everywhere, you know, splaying out the sides. So I was thinking maybe that wasn't helping with the definition. We'll try this, and then what I'll do is I'll put these back if it doesn't work, and we'll just try rolling it again, just not flatten this into the clay as much. So let's have a go at this first. We'll take the excess clay off first. Oh, look how easy that was. Oh, well, that's a lot better. Now I know. A little bit of a, I don't know what this is. It's probably 3mm plywood. A little bit of an offcut. It's a very funny angle, a really funny shape that I've got, but it's an offcut. So gently peeling back to reveal. Oh, much better. Wow. Can we see that? Can I lift that? Hold on. Let me find that little kidney. I just need like a little pizza thing just to go under there. Oh, I don't know whether I can lift that off still though. Still, oh, very stuck. Ta-da! There we go. That's stuck to the metal. Obviously, I slightly just disjointed, but look at the textures on that. Look at the, I mean, it's got a lot of relief, which is what I was looking for. So I think you can tell that they're paintbrushes. Well, I can see there's some definition from those faint lines that I did earlier for the numbers, which can obviously be highlighted a little bit better. Some of the flower, maybe the flower could have been a little bit better in the middle there. But overall, I am quite impressed. That's actually worked really well. So I think we'll just do it one more time, and I might, any areas that I think might need a little bit more. See, now here I think I just didn't press it onto the clay evenly, so I think, I mean, this has all worked out really well. I'm so pleased. I don't know, that just to try and take a little bit more out of the numbers, just to give them a little bit of better relief. So I might go back to my original tile and just take these numbers out a little bit more. But I can't say that I need to do anything else. Okay. We'll come back in a minute. Right, so I'll just get just mashed up my clay a little bit just to get me a block again. But try not to do it too thin. Just give it a bit of a knead with my hands. Okay, so get the sticks back on to the thin ones. So we'll do thin sticks first, just to get that flat, get that as flat as I can. They'll give a suggestion that there are numbers there anyway, so it's better than the faint that I had last time. Oh. Okay, so we're going to lay the lino tile back on top, take our slightly thicker sticks, and in theory I should just be a little bit off the top, so we're going to go over the top. Shall we try and apply more even pressure across the whole area? Now, how am I looking? I'm not quite there yet. Like I say, this clay is getting a little bit firmer, which might not be a bad thing. Maybe having it slightly on the firmer side gives a better impression, because otherwise it gets a bit too sloppy. So there we have it. Let's go cut that side out. Let's move these sticks. Cut that side out. Okay, the moment of truth. Oh, lovely. Oh, that's actually turned out really well. I'm sure you probably can actually even see that quite clearly from the top view. It's definitely looking more like what my drawing was originally supposed to look like. Not perfect, but it's actually not a bad likeness either. Just take off some of that excess trim off there. Look. There we have the very original small drawing that I did. The enlarged one, excuse me, the upscaled one is there. So I think it's not that bad, really. Like I say, you get more kind of illustration. It gets more illustrated and more kind of line suggestion. I think the more you copy and do a process on things, that's how I found it, and that's not a bad thing. I think it will actually hopefully give it more character once it's fired one day and glazed. I'm hoping to continue this process on my other designs, and then I will be doing these printed into my own clay once I get round and back on my feet properly to carry on those making clay processes. Thank you, bye.